Hi, and welcome to today's talk. My name's Lisa Garcia, and I'm going to share a story about Fortune 500 companies and their success dramatically reducing slips, trips, and falls. They don't even use PowerPoint. There's a secret to their success, though, and I'll share that with you as well. But the real upside here is rest assured that any company can employ these techniques. It's not about being a Fortune 500 company. Here's what you're going to learn today. I only have a few minutes to share this information, but when I'm done, you'll be able to employ these techniques at your company, and I guarantee they're going to work. In fact, the changes you can institute will enhance the safety culture at your company and have both employees and executive leaders thanking you for your help. If you have questions or you'd like to share your company story with me, just click the link at the end and you can set up a call. The other thing I'd like to share as part of this webinar is a link to download a paper with research data showing concrete results of why these techniques work. Because as we all know, in the end, all anyone really cares about is results. What can you expect? Well, when you employ these techniques, you'll see reductions in OSHA reportables, happier and more engaged workers who are better connected to each other, and more invested in supporting and growing your company's safety culture. So a little bit about me. My name's Lisa. Like I said, I'm a Virginia Tech graduate, live in Blacksburg, Virginia, and I'm a parent and outdoor enthusiast, and I've spent the last several years helping companies implement safety training. Fun fact, when I was 12 years old, I got paid $10 an hour to demonstrate solving the Rubik's Cube at a mall. But let's get back to why we're here today. The number one thing I hear safety professionals tell me is that they just want their employees to leave work in the same condition they arrived, healthy and happy. It's becoming a bigger challenge, though, because the workforce is getting older, and then the cost of medical bills it continues to rise. So how's safety training being done today? Well, the majority of slip and fall safety training is directed towards raising awareness, using slideshows, videos, and safety posters. None of this works exceptionally well. And why is that? Well, let's face it, most safety training of this type is boring. When people are bored, they don't listen, and when they aren't engaged, they don't learn. Our biggest mistake, perhaps, in training people is treating them like children. It's certainly not any way to win buy-in or respect, and teaching adults is simply not the same as teaching children. Adults decide on their own what makes sense and whether it relates to them and their work. The bottom line is that training must be relevant to be effective. The second vital aspect to an effective training program is making it an engaging experience. This is really a challenge. It's hard to do online, and it's certainly hard to do with posters. The training must match the severity of the risk. But most of all, you can't just tell somebody not to fall. You can't just show employees posters and expect this to have the desired impact. Any safety training needs to be engaging to be effective. It needs to involve the trainee in a hands-on, experiential environment. It needs to feel real. So what's the secret ingredient most safety training is missing? It's fun. When people are having fun, they remember the experience. They connect with what is being taught, and they bond with their colleagues, and they learn from each other. Fun experiences are going to be retained and used on the job site. And maybe even more remarkably, they'll use this information at home as well. So we all know that these types of accidents, the ones that are caused by slips, trips, and falls, represent the highest type of workers' comp claims for most companies. Although the published national average cost of claims is about $23,000, every time I give this presentation to somebody, there's a room full of people, safety professionals of all types, and somebody throws up their hand and says, at our company, the average claim costs more than $100,000. So there's certainly a lot of variation here. But in spite of clearly severe nature of this problem and a lot of dedicated people working to tackle it, the claims continue to rise. So let's talk about one technique some companies are using, these Fortune 500 companies I've been talking about, to reduce slips, trips, and falls. This is where the slip simulator training comes into play. It's relevant. The slip simulator has a floor with a zero coefficient of friction, so it simulates the actual environment of walking on slippery surfaces like ice and snow, and then it raises the perception of risk. Employees see that it's relevant. We have obstacles that you can use like that simulate curbs, broken sidewalks, even pipes that employees might be stepping over in all types of weather. So why would you use a simulator? Well, take military training, for instance. If there's an airplane crash and a pilot needs to use an ejection seat, you want him or her to be ready for that kind of an event. And you don't train them to do this using a PowerPoint or a poster. You put them in an ejection training simulator. Likewise, the slip simulator, people learn from their peers, and it evokes this emotional response. People are videotaping maybe or taking pictures. They're laughing. They're having a great time. At Los Alamos National Lab, they even tried to make it more real by having their employees train using the equipment that they would use in their normal jobs. At Brookhaven National Lab in New York, they just have a whole lot of fun.
You're going to go in this side.
Oh, on this side?
Double the fun.
All right, here we go.
Actually going to go. Ready?
Ready?
Go.
Still small.
Ready? Go.
Now, please tell me you guys got that already.
I got it. Love you, Jimmy.
Everything that was in my peripheral vision, man. I'm going to get it.
One of our slip simulator trainers said, when we have a good class going on, people say it sounds like happy hour at a bar. We have so much fun. But does it really work? I mean, this isn't about fun. This is about reducing slip and falls. GE experienced an 80% reduction in STF accidents. We have a case study that we can share about GE Appliance's success, and then when they employed the slip simulator training, along with the other things that they did on their site, they did record an 80% reduction. But they're not the only ones that are seeing great results. BP Husky in Toledo, American Electric Power, First Energy, NiSource, and AK Steel are among some others. So again, the 3 pillars of effective safety training that we see companies using and having great success with is that it's training that's relevant, it's engaging, and it's fun. I've got a link here for you to get the Los Alamos National Lab study. There'll be an update to this in August that it will be available as well. They keep tracking their data. So here's what you need to do next. If you want to see if your company can reduce slips, trips, and falls by up to 80% and foster a safety culture, click the button below the video to set up a call with me. I want to hear about your safety challenges. Now remember, this works best for companies that want to continue to build a culture of safety. We'll help you identify and quantify the true value this training brings to your company. So click the link below and we'll get started. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Thanks.